What a sick fuck.
The hardest 3 thrusts. Dude, I'm tripping my balls off.
Come to my house telling me to shut the fuck up and then telling me to reel it back in. Well, welcome to the Eggolaz Podcast. My name is Cameron, and today with me, I got J.D., J Dizzle, J Dog.
What up, Cam? Just another funky junkie named JD. What up?
Yeah, before the podcast gets started, let me give a few shout-outs to the sponsors of the podcast. For one, I'd like to shout out the sponsor, Vito's Pizza. They've been putting money in my bank account, giving me Christmas presents. Also, I've been seeing so many weird people while delivering pizzas. Please clean up your porch. It's not that hard. Second shout out, I like to shout out Percocets for helping me get to the point in my life where a podcast sounded like a good idea. And the third sponsor, I'd like to talk about electricity and the importance of electricity for keeping this podcast moving.
You're like, shout out Purdue, dude. Thank you, OxyContin.
Yeah, man. It's part of my story.
Hey, dude. I'll never forget working for a pizza place. I worked for Hungry Howie's. That was like my first job. And I thought I was so fucking cool at that job. I had like a pimped out Jeep, and I would roll around. I had subs in it, and I'd have people. I was like selling weed at the time, you know. I'm like 16 years old, and I'm just, I think I am the shit, you know. So I'm like telling all my people, like, yo, look, I'll bring you a sack. I have no problem with that, but you have to like literally call Hungry Howie's. You have to order a pizza. I recommend bold and spicy sauce. It's amazing, and I will come get you together, you know. And
you were the modern day entrepreneur.
Kind of, yeah.
Listen, so I've had Vito's Pizza is my second job, and I've had many. The field we work in, you think like you get used to the situations that you're put in where we work at, and it's so crazy that like the people I'm delivering pizzas to are like more weird to me than like the people I deal with at a rehab.
Right. And you're like, dude, I literally deal with people that like have shot people and have like lived in back alleys, and this chick that lives off of Lewis is really freaking me out right now.
Dude, the night before Thanksgiving, I roll up to this house, knock on the door. They open up the front door and smoke's billowing out of the front door, and it's like 20 people in the living room, dude, just zonked out, my guy. And she's like, oh, I forgot we ordered pizza. and so I give her the pizza, and she's like, wait, do you want to hit the blunt? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, dude, I'm good. You know, I kept it moving, but
no, just give me a really good tip, please.
No, they did, dude. They tipped fat as fuck, dude.
You got like a dime bag. We threw you an extra 20.
Yeah, they were like, dude, keep the change, man.
Oh, that's great, dude. I love, like, you know, like, that's the one thing, too. Like, I look at just being in that lifestyle of, you know, partying and, you know, pre-recovery days, and still seeing it now even more than ever, like the terminology of like stonerism, you know, like
for
just
sure.
like the lingo, you know, like people saying swag, that was like a big one. Reggie, like, yeah, bro, like just try to kick it with some of these land lobsters, bro, you know. Super skinny in the front but meaty in the back, bro, you know, like.
And then when you like start hanging out with people like that, like who talk like that, you start talking like that, you start picking up their like their dialectic.
Right, dude, it's horrible. Like, I'm definitely like, you know, you make fun of your parents for like trying to use your lingo as a child, and I catch myself using the lingo of like my nephews. They're not a whole lot younger than me, but it's enough, you know what I mean? It's like 10 years difference, you know, and especially with clients too, and the field that we work in too, you know, I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, no capping. What's no capping mean? You know what I mean? And then I'm like,
I ain't capping in here.
No cap, dude. You know.
All of my go-to verbiages and phrases are just TikTok pseudonyms. I'm just bing bong, fuck your life,
Wee woo wobble woo.
Yeah, dude. It's a weird time right now, man, because the sayings and sounds like you have multi-selling artists, like multi-million-dollar selling artists, and it's all starting from Instagram and TikTok. There's no label execs behind it or nothing like that.
Just the 9 boy. Like, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And I'm like, when I first got TikTok, I went down the whole bad. I realized, like, right from the bat, like, this is not good. This is like heroin to me. Like, once I started swiping, it was over with. Christian's like, what have you been doing for like the past 3 hours? I'm like, shit, I don't know.
Dude, so they actually have it incorporated into there to keep you swiping. Like, the whole swipe down for the next video is meant to keep you swiping down and sitting there and have the longest engagement rate possible.
Right. It's creating a habit.
Yeah, no, I was listening to this podcast with Joe Rogan and Tristan Harris when they were. You ever watch The Social Dilemma?
Yes.
It's the guy who created Social Dilemma, and they were talking about how TikTok has increased the the viralness of videos. So, like, have you ever seen those TikTok videos where the kids perform vicious licks?
No.
So they're like high school kids, and they'll just start ripping bathroom sinks off their high school bathroom and like stealing kids' shoes,
just causing havoc.
Yeah, and so like it started with one video, and it turned into like these thousands of high schoolers all across America just ripping out urinals of the high school.
So bad, dude. So bad. Started a new trend.
Yeah,
and
like,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, man. And I thought it was bad, like growing up when we were like egging a house, and they're over here with wrenches just ripping out in structural plumbing.
I stole the tires off the bus. Ha.
Yep.
Yeah, things have changed, man. It's crazy. Like, we're kind of like in that generation too of like social media. I was reflecting upon that the other day. I was looking back, and I could not figure out. I was trying to get on MySpace to like get old pictures and to see what like I had on there, and I could not remember my password, and like it was a super old email and stuff like that. But
yeah, dude, and Tom don't want you to get back on MySpace. They make it the hardest thing possible to log into that old account. Right. Tom's like, you ain't getting back here, bud. You already went to the Facebook club.
Yeah. You cannot go back. You're pickled, dude.
Yeah, I was. It's crazy too, because like over social media, like recovery has become more streamlined and like more, like I would say, in the public eye than it was. Like, you used to hide on social media when it came to like drugs and active addiction and recovery, and now people are just out here creating meme pages for it and actively talking about it.
Yeah, it is. It's odd to think about too. Like, I know that like I just had so many friends before, and I'd be like scrolling, and I'm like seeing people like post like ads on social media, like, I have Adderall and Xanny bars, and they like post a picture of it, and I'm like, dude, what are these people doing? Like, what an idiot,
For sure.
Like, I was so scared to ever get caught or get in like trouble, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever like, going back, did you ever think like you were that big time? You're like, dude, be careful what you say on my phone line, dude. Like, I heard a couple clicks on it. They might be tapping it or something.
No, people were always saying that to me. I was like, bro, I need 2 for 20. They're like, stop talking on the phone like that.
You mean 2 large pizzas, dude? 2 larges, extra pepperoni.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy, man, because like you'll literally have people like on social media, like either talking about drugs and alcohol, like, I'm trying to sell these gabapentins, right on Facebook. Grandma can see it, grandpa can see it, or like in the reverse, you got people who are like legitimately sharing their stories, that are like shedding light on addiction and recovery, which when I was coming up, that wasn't a thing.
No, that is interesting point, man. It is really cool to see people open up about that, and the amount of followers some of these people have. And the only bad part about it, I guess, well, maybe it's not even a bad part, but you see people that like posted their stories that got huge on social media, and then they become like marketers for like treatment centers and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Listen, anyone listening to this podcast and you're in recovery, don't work in a treatment center.
He's not lying.
Yeah, dude. It's fun. It has its ups and downs, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I gotta like go back on it, and I'm very, very grateful to work in recovery. But I think that like we had a conversation the other day, like just because I work in treatment and I try to help people get into treatment and get sober doesn't mean that like that's my program, you know what I mean? Like I have to connect with my people outside, and you know, it's forced me to even dig deeper in recovery, because like now I have to like go to new places and find people I don't know so I can share about things, just because there's so many people out there that I know from working in treatment and being around in recovery for a while.
Yeah, man. And also it's like if you want to help someone, you don't have to, like, as an addict, like, because of the damage I think we cause, dude, like, we just want to help people. Like, generally we want to live like good lives and we want to help others.
Yeah.
You ain't got to help people in a treatment center. You know what I mean? We can help people in ways we can't even imagine, you know, especially with recovery and addiction. And it is. It's like, it ain't for the faint of heart, bro.
No, dude. Definitely not. You have to be able to breathe if you're going to work in treatment. But I think that is the one cool thing that's, like, transpired, too, with, like, especially, like, me and you, you know, like, throughout all the wreckage of our past and everything that has gone on, and, like, kind of coming back together and working together in the treatment field, it's like, you know, one thing I can say from like the bottom of my heart, it's really good to hear people and clients say, man, you know, Cam, you know, was running this group the other day and it had me really in my feels. It really got me thinking about things in a different way. And, you know, just hearing that feedback and being able to, you know, the flip side of things and the perspective of it is pretty cool to literally be able to share your experience, strength, and hope, you know, and you know, also get a check.
Have a fucking impact.
Yeah,
have an impact
for it. And, you know, it is pretty amazing when you kind of sit back and look at it. It's also amazing that guys like me and you are employed in doing this. And
sure.
Like we, you know, are working with like clinical professionals and doctors, and the completely flip side of what things used to be like, you know?
Oh, dude, sometimes I'm like, dude, just pinch me, dude. Like, is this fucking real right now?
Right.
Because I was a gutter ball junkie, man. I really was. I was like really out there, you know? Living in cars and odd places around Toledo, you know. So, I mean, it's a good feeling, and we do good. But I think, you know, for us and for the people listening, like, yo, you want to help people out in recovery, do it. But you ain't got to do it this way. You can do it any way you want. That's the really cool part. Is like there's no tabling how to help people. You can't put helping people into a box.
Yeah, very, very true. We don't realize sometimes how we impact somebody, man. It's just, you know, for us, within, you know, the code that we live by, you know, just trying to do the next right thing, man. And, you know, it's blown my mind. I don't want to sit and, like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but, like, I've had people come back to me and they're like, dude, you know, I just seen you that one time and you just, like, let me vent, and, you know, you didn't, like, sit there and judge me, and that, like, honestly saved my life, or that really helped me think about the way I was thinking about things prior to this, you know. And I'm just like, what? You know, you don't really know that. And I know that people have done that for me too along my journey, you know. Like, somebody would, like, share something or talk about something that I was, like, scared shitless to talk about, and I, like, got the answer that I needed, you know. And it's just kind of cool how, like, full circle how that works, you know.
I've been on a spiritual high, since me and you sat down Thursday night and we were talking. You know, I've been feeling good. I've been feeling great. You know, it's crazy how a conversation with someone that you might look up to will just propel you into feeling that much better going into the next day.
100%, man. I feel the same too. It's like, it's crazy, man, to think of it like that, but like those interactions and doing stuff like that is like it's like a cleansing of the soul, dude, right? Because my soul, dude, needs so much help, dude, and it really does, man. And just having those, it's just like it's like a reset, man. And you know, looking back at it, you know, I don't think that anybody would have bet that we would be having spiritual conversations together, you know, and like having deep, meaningful conversations about, like, you know, the world and life and people and how we love people today and how our terminology of courage and honesty and integrity and things like this have changed along the way, you know, like those wouldn't have been a topic back in the day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. Normal people don't even try to be spiritual, right? Like normal people, like they have a concept of spirituality and they're right and wrong, but like they don't like go and try to like amplify their spirituality. Some people do, but like some people don't get that. They don't even, you know, think about it. I mean, that's probably because they're a good person, but most people don't even get to attempt to try and like become a better person.
Right. And I'm curious to get your opinion on this too. What do you think? Like lately I've been thinking about like the normal people talk, you know what I mean? And I use that all the time, you know, like, oh, normies, people that, you know, they can just drink a little bit or they don't have to live by spiritual principles like us and stuff like that. I've been like struggling with that, and I'm like, is that normal? Or like, am I so engulfed in like recovery and spirituality that like I feel like that's normal, you
Dude,
know?
No. Here's the thing. I think that, I mean, after doing pizza deliveries, man, listen, normal people are so fucked up. And I think that they just don't realize they're fucked up.
Right.
And if they do realize they're fucked up, they don't have to, like, change anything about them being fucked up.
Right.
So, because like, life's just so lifey. It's just life.
Lifey.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you know, I'm fucking, my life's bullshit, but I pay my bills and it's okay. Or yes, I'm unhappy in my marriage, but like I've been in this marriage for 10 years and I got kids and it's just life and I don't need to do any better and this is just how it is. And so then people get stuck in that misery, bro, for years. They're just living in it and they don't know any different, right?
Like, this is my normal.
Yeah, that's just their normal. It's just their baseline.
Right.
For us, bro, when our lives get shitty, if we don't like do something about it or become a better person, or like if you're a fucking liar and you keep lying, or if you're you know, whatever the case might be for you, if you don't change it, you're gonna get fucking high again.
Yeah.
You're gonna you're gonna end up trying to kill yourself or hurt others, or you know, have an effect on people you don't want. Bad. Yeah. So like we change, they don't. Yeah. They don't change, man. It's like Scrooge. Why did Scrooge change?
Right.
You know, in honor of fucking Christmas, let's talk about Scrooge. Scrooge didn't, I mean, you know, he's a fictional character, but Scrooge didn't live his whole life as a rich, fucking pious asshole who was a penny pincher, right? It took 3 ghosts to come visit him on the eve of Christmas past for him to fucking realize, like, I gotta change my life.
Right. Our ghosts are like jail institutions and death, right? Those are the 3 ghosts that visited me. Dude, I'm glad you brought that up too, like the holiday spirit, man. It's weird, man, because you know, my girl called me Scrooge. You know, she'd be like, "You're like the Grinch," like make fun of me and stuff like that. And I'm like, "What? I'm not like the Grinch." You know,
well,
like,
hold on. The Grinch didn't hate Christmas; he hated people.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I seen that meme today, and I was like, "That's fucking true."
Facts, right? Yeah. It was the people. It wasn't the event, dude.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck about presents and Santa and Christmas trees and the songs. He didn't like the fake phony people down in that little village. Right. He was like, fuck them.
Right. I think for me, I really feel like I'm truly in the holiday spirit. Partially, we went to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Have you ever seen that?
As a kid.
Really?
Yes, as a kid.
I was thinking, she got us tickets for it, and I'm like, all right, it's gonna be like a symphony thing, okay. And then we like show up downtown, and like parking's like $30-$40. It's packed, like a super long line to get in, you know. And I'm like,
plenty of chances to be ungrateful at that moment too,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right. And so I'm like walking in super long lines, and I guess I didn't have expectations. And we get in there, and dude, it was like the most amazing thing. Like, I've gone to a lot of concerts in my life, and the laser lights and the pyro, and they had like these two things where the guitar player and the violin player were like just straight shredding, and it like lifted up and went out over the crowd, and like there was a box in like the middle of the arena, and it like turned into a TV screen and then like caught on fire. I'm like, what is this, dude? I've like never seen anything like this before, you know. And like that really like kind of got me into the holiday spirit a little bit. But I think the reason that why she like kind of like calls me the Grinch or, you know, Scrooge or whatever too is because like for me, I see the work in Christmas, because like Christmas it ends up being a 30-day process, right?
Yeah.
As soon as Thanksgiving hits, it's like, all right, we got to get up, get the storage. You know, she wants to turn our house into winter wonderland, and I love her for it, dude. I love her for it. It's amazing and it's awesome. But I'm like, damn, here I got to go again. I got to go like hit my head in the attic and try to drag out these boxes and, you know, put all these lights up and, you know, do all this stuff. But you know, I've been just kind of trying to change my perspective on it, and it's been really cool to see how they light up. You know, not so much the work that goes into it, but the result from it, you know.
Yeah, man. And I think what it really comes down to is it comes down to the stress it puts like modern families on too. It's like, oh, we got to buy all these presents for all the people that we know, and then we got to spend more money that we don't have to. Because like, let's just be fucking honest here, man. Like, well, not a lot of people have a lot of money nowadays, and even when you do got a lot of money, it's not a lot of money nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's just like this stress of like, we need new Christmas lights, and we need new light bulbs, and we need 400. Listen, man, it felt really good. I'm not gonna lie. I went Christmas shopping yesterday, and it felt really good. I was playing Christmas music the whole time. Oldies, you know what I mean? Dean Martin, Michael Bublé, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The classics in the car. I was playing the classics in the car. I got my car washed, and I went and picked up Murph, and me and Murph went to the mall, and it was a good experience because I've been working 2 jobs, so I had some extra money just to throw around and like, you know, do whatever with. And you know, I'm not gonna say what I bought, but it felt, you know, because she'll probably listen, but it felt really good to just like go in this envelope full of cash and just, you know, whip out the money that I wasn't worried about, because usually I'm sitting here sweating like, okay, I gotta get this for this, and then I gotta go here and I gotta get this, and there wasn't like that. So I don't know, man. I feel like maybe we were like, as kids growing up, we were like, we forgot how much our parents probably sacrificed to give us the kind of Christmases they did. You know, no matter how extravagant or not they were.
100%. 100%. Like the work and everything that goes into it, and like, you know, dude, now we have like Amazon too, and I like wonder, I'm like, I wonder if my family if they had Amazon, what it would be like, you know.
You know what I heard? In 20 years, 80% of people on the planet will work for Amazon.
I believe that.
I'm just kidding. I made that up.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so believable. It's so fucking believable.
It is. When I see, you know, I get so many Amazon packages to my house, bro, and I just like, you know, at some point, like, I'm just like, all right, I just shake my head, but I'm like looking, and I'm like, how come all the Amazon trucks they're like so nice and brand new, and they're coming out with like these drones that can drop off like packages to your house, and like the technology behind it, and I'm like, it's kind of lightweight scary.
No, it for sure is, man, because like, dude, our society right now is geared to like instant satisfaction.
Right.
Like the only reason why people get Amazon Prime and pay for Amazon Prime is because it's like, it delivers next day.
It's kind of like dope, right?
No, for sure. You get dopamine from buying stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get serotonin from buying stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so imagine, bro, you're just sitting in your one-bedroom apartment, you're depressed, and you're like, you know what makes me feel better? Amazon. and you're just scrolling, and you're like, no, it's an Amazon Essential, it's half off.
Right.
And you're just trying to find the best deals on whatever. Yeah, man, I wouldn't doubt if we'd be buying fucking, Thanksgiving turkeys, online from Walmart that get delivered straight to our doorstep the night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 100%. It's a trip to think about. You can get anything.
For sure.
I get like the most random ads, and it's like, that your phone's listening to you.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have turkeys. I'm gonna have a turkey ad right on my phone. It'll be like a Walmart special for, overgrown turkeys.
Right. You're just talking about like something completely random, and the next thing you know, it just pops right up on your phone. Hey, deal of the day, flash deal.
Well, dude, it's no doubt about it, bro. If you think the government's not listening to you, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it nowadays.
Right.
All of those crackheads I used to smoke crack with were right. They were listening the whole time.
Right. They were ahead of the game, dude. They were ahead of the game, man.
So how'd you start working in recovery? So like tell me, like I know a little bit, but just run me through. Tell me how it all happened, man.
So, so I had been like in and out of sobriety, right? In and out of the rooms for a while, man. And I look back at it, and it's amazing what my higher power did for me. But so like I was struggling, right? And I was sober, and I'm like, dude, I relapsed in my head before I went out. I had a reservation, they call it, and dude, it was bad, bro. It was bad. Like I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna do heroin, but I can do some like perk 30s. I'll be all right. It's not heroin, it's not gonna be as bad.
That's a very logical assumption.
Right. Definitely justifying it, and so I'm like going to pawn some stuff, dude, and I go to pull out after I get the money. My dude's like waiting for me, and a cop pulls me over, and like literally it was like a quarter mile down the street from where I was going, and he's like, hey, you didn't have a front plate, by the way, did you know that you have like this warrant from like 5-6 years ago, and I'm like, no, what warrant, you know what I mean? And to put a long story short, basically I'd go to the county.
He arrested you?
He arrested me.
Non-summonsable? You couldn't get summons?
No, he's straight. You're going.
Oh my God.
It was an assault charge.
How'd that one slip through the cracks,
Dude, I have no idea, dude. I definitely wasn't trying to dodge it either, too. I was still just moving around the city like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, like how does the judicial system just go, you assaulted someone, we'll see you in 6 years.
Yeah. We're busy. We'll get to it when we get to it. They got to it. I'm in county, and I'm going in front of the judge. I get a pretty good lawyer, and he's like, yeah, man, you'll probably be out in like 3 days or something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm getting ready to go up from the judge, and the guy before me is just arguing. With Christensen too. Oh,
that's the worst.
Dude, just pissing him off, bro. And I just remember I'm like talking to someone like, dude, just chill. Just stop, dude. No, dude. So I go in front of the judge, and he looks at me, and he's like, Justin, you are a menace to society, and I'm giving you everything I could possibly give you. I'm sentencing you to 13 months in jail, and then slams down the gavel. And I'm like looking at my lawyer. I'm like, dude, you said like 3 days. 13 months and 3 days is like that's a pretty significant difference, And
the math is wrong here.
Something's not adding up here. But yeah, so it happened like that, man. And I went back. I was in jail, and I sat and like had like a moment of clarity. I remember sitting there in my bunk, and
Were you at Lucas County?
no, I went out to strike.
And you was up in CCNO?
Yeah, I took the bus.
That fucking white and blue bus, dude.
Yeah.
Striker's worse than fucking...
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
It's horrible. But, so I remember sitting there and I'm like, all right, either I can do the same thing and keep getting the same results, or I can do something different, and it's got to start now. And, I was just like, man, I'm not going to sit and bullshit with the dudes. I'm getting into some recovery literature, and I'm like going to try to go to church. I'm going to try to do anything I can to possibly get out early if I can, dude. So I was just like doing everything. And it was actually very humbling to do that stuff. And I remember at the time my sponsor, I was so excited. They were bringing an outside AA meeting into the jail, and I was so excited for it. I remember I've never been more excited for a meeting.
You were like, fuck yeah.
And sure as shit, who walks out, dude? My current sponsor had no idea I got locked up or that I was there. He was out doing like a commitment at the jail, and here he is walking in, and like I said, to make a long story short, dude, I just did what I had to do, and I ended up getting out way early from what I was supposed to. I can't remember if it was like 3 or maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe. I think I was out there before that, but it was long enough, man, because like literally in that 4 or 5 months, like I would have probably lost my house if some people didn't come together for me to help me out with that. I already lost a house prior to that, a beautiful house, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose everything. Like if nothing changes, like my family's at their wits' end. The girl's at her wits' end. Finances are at their wits' end. Like, dude, just like I have nothing else going for me but to either change or die. So I was like, I got to change. And I remember getting out, and I was super nervous getting out of jail. It was beautiful out in CCNO. I could hear motorcycles riding out in like the country, and I get off the bus. Nobody knows I'm coming home. So I go to my mom's house. Nobody's there. I go to my house. Nobody's there. And I'm like, dude, what do I do? And it just happened to be the night my old home group was. So I hopped on my motorcycle, went to my home group, and I was like so embarrassed. Like, man, these people probably seen my picture. They seen what was going on with me, and it was just all love.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then, so from that point, I was like, all right, cool, safe space. My brother had given me a card. He's like, man, I keep seeing your buddies, it's no secret, like the addiction thing runs in my family, and all of us are in recovery together, which is pretty amazing. And my brother's like, yeah, man, I keep running into your buddy. He gives me a card. There's this team recovery thing. He thinks that you would be great to get involved with it. He wants you to come help him out. And he gives me this card, and I'm like, sweet. I need to kick it with some people that are like not scared to talk about recovery. They're out having fun, like, that's exactly what I need, so I just got with some people, some of our mutual friends, and it just had a blast. In early recovery, man, we were going to meetings, swooping people up to go to meetings, going to like fly signs, man, hugs not drugs, and just doing these like little events, and just trying to help people. And I remember that was like the biggest breath of fresh air for me. I was excited for life at that point, man.
I think one of the biggest things you said a whole lot, but I think one of the biggest things for someone who's like new to recovery, it's like you can have fun completely sober, not inebriated whatsoever. Matter of fact, you can probably have more fun
100%
not inebriated and 100% sober. Like, bro, you went to the fucking Trans-Siberia. You wouldn't have gave a fuck if you were getting high about no Trans-Siberia.
Right.
You wouldn't. And so it's like, when you stop like artificially pumping this dopamine and serotonin into your body, there's like a split second where like, like it's a real small time if you stay sober, but like where like you feel like this like, yearning for something more. But once you start to like have those experiences where you're hanging out with people who are having fun and you're having fun and you're going to the Trans-Siberia and you're doing the things that you want to do and it's fun, it's not even worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not even worth to get high or drunk after you have all the experiences that you're doing. I think that's monumental in recovery, is having fun.
100%, man. 100%, man. I didn't get sober and stop killing myself to just like be lame and not do nothing, you know. It's like it was nice to like start living life. I had this like, I had to kill this like conception that, you know, now that I'm sober I can't ride motorcycles, you know, because everybody I, you know, ride with goes to the bar and engages in illegal activities, you know. But like I found a group of people in recovery that rode motorcycles, you know. And then I'm like, man, concerts, dude, I'm never gonna be able to go to a concert again in my life, you know. And then I'm like, start to go to concerts, and there's like these groups out there, and people go, and they're in sobriety, and you know, I was just hanging out with so many bad people that I didn't realize that a lot of people that were sober went to concerts and had a blast, and they weren't in the bathroom the whole time, or they weren't leaving the show in handcuffs in a paddy wagon, you know, like.
It's crazy too, because like, yo, man, like the percentage of people out there who are abusing fucking heroin, you know, back in mine and your days it was heroin, right? But like heroin and fentanyl and Percodans and whatever and Xanax and cocaine, it's a fucking small percentage, man.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of people, you know. I mean, alcohol and weed is a little bit different, but no one's out there like just smoking boulders and going to like Queen,
right? You
know, they're not going to a Queen band, you know, remake, smoking crack,
right? And like the conception, like, oh, everybody does this. Like, JD, no, everybody does not do this, dude. You're insane. You know, everybody does not.
It's everyone I knew when I was homeless living at the library,
right? The people I know do, you know. But yeah, dude, just you know, so I ended up getting with Team Recovery, and you know, just kind of had for the first time ever, really had a purpose. I felt like I had some purpose. I was having fun, that I actually had a glimmer of hope that if I actually just do what these people are doing, like I literally grabbed their pocket. I'm like, yo, I'm rolling with you guys. You guys are going to get coffee? Cool, I'll be there. What time? You know, I'm just showing up. I'm like doing whatever I can, and I had just a glimmer of hope, man. And I felt some purpose that I could possibly maybe use some of the pain or my experience, and you know, somebody didn't have to learn the way I did, and it felt good. It felt good, you know. It really did. It was like, I don't know. It was like I got dopamine from it. You know, I got with these people. I didn't think I could belly laugh and just tell my cheeks were hurting, you know, like, dude, a bunch of the people that we hang out with and stuff like that, dude, we just have like genuine just laughs, bro, and like just high on life stuff, you know what I mean? And, you know, I used to make fun of that term, but like, you know, it's a reality for me today.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. You know, it really is. I mean, I've done so much cool shit while I've been sober. It's not even funny, man. You know, and that's shit that I never thought I'd ever do while I was out there using.
100%. Like what we're doing right now, you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat as I am, that like I had a long list of shit I was gonna do that I talked about from a bar stool or from a garage, you know, and like you know, I remember you originally talking about wanting to do this podcast, and you're making the shit happen, and you're being persistent and resilient in it, and dude, that shit's beautiful to see, and we see that a lot in recovery. We see a lot of bad stuff as well, but the people that really, you know, want it and are doing their thing and working for it, man, like it materializes, and them blessings come, man.
It's getting someone to buy in.
Yeah.
Cause like, how do you tell someone who has nothing, like, yo, bro, you can do whatever you want and you can be whoever you want to be now while you're sober? Because all they know is like getting high and drinking. So it's like, it's like, how can you take that person and be like, listen, bro, you can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can do whatever you want. You just can't get high or drunk.
Yeah.
And like, that's the truth. Like, There's so many people I met who are able to, you know, I mean, and literally do whatever they want.
Yeah, dude, it definitely took people. Like, I needed to see some people and like hear their experience and see enough evidence that they were actually like as messed up as I was, and they were living good lives. Like, I see that evidence and I'm like, wow, wait a minute, this dude did the same kind of stuff that I did, and he's got a car now, he's got a job, you know, he's happy, he gets to help other people. Like, maybe this is really possible, you know, maybe it is, you know.
Yeah, I needed people, because I when I first got sober, bro, I thought it was all a hoax. Mm-hmm. I was like, what is this fucking weirdo shit? You know what I mean? I'm like, this is some square. I literally got sober because I was like, I need a place to live, and I need to beat these charges.
Right.
And so, like, if this helps me with both of those things, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I did it, and I did it half-assed. And I I was in treatment. Like, I can't wait to smoke weed when I get out of here.
It was like a jail sentence, just Xing off days on the calendar. Like, I'm getting that much closer.
Yeah, and it was just like, once I like stop and leave behind heroin, my life's just automatically gonna get better. Right. And then like I left behind heroin and my life got worse.
What? This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it's so important to have those influential people that you meet, you know, in recovery, that can show you like, yo, bro, you don't have to be miserable and sober.
Right. I remember like when I did it too, because like I was saying before, my family's in recovery. My brother's got like, I think he's got 19 years.
Holy shit.
And I remember this one time I was just talking about the other day. I get back fresh off the plane from Florida from treatment, you know, and my family's like, oh, we're gonna go get a nice dinner and stuff like that now that you're back in town.
You went to Florida, dog?
Oh yeah. I had good insurance for a long time. I used that. I had Medicaid, and then I had no insurance, and it was the psych ward. You know, that was my treatment days. But so me and my family we're gonna have this nice dinner. I'm back home. You know, they're rooting for me, and I immediately order a Budweiser. At dinner, and my brother's like, you know, just nonstop talking about recovery. I need to go to these meetings with them, all this stuff, dude. And I'm like, dude, fuck your cult, bro. Like, dude, that's no, definitely not, man. I went to fucking treatment because of these little blue pills. You know, that's what it was at the time. The first go around.
So you started off on perks?
Yeah, the first treatment center was for Percocet and Xanax. I never had a problem with alcohol, right? You know?
Yeah. No, I get it. I didn't either. I just had my first drink at 12.
Right. I don't know why all this other stuff comes after I start drinking, you know? But I remember him just getting so pissed off at me, and I like getting this huge fight with him at the table. I'm like, dude, okay, Captain Recovery, just you fucking know it all, you know, just because you've been going to your fucking cult meetings, blah, 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 you know. And it's funny now, we joke and laugh about that story, but that's just, you know, that's where I was, you know. That's where I was.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, dude, I think it's just like when people know they're wrong too, like, because like, here's the thing. Instinctually, I knew what I was doing was wrong, right? Like, I knew it was having an effect on my life. I knew it wasn't the best for me to be doing what I was doing. So whenever someone would bring it up, I'd get defensive. You know, I was like in defense mode, and that's how you know, like, I was doing something fucked up. Because like if I really thought it was cool, I would just be like, yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. This is all right.
Right.
So just to like off the rip, be like, I can have this fucking Budweiser. I just left treatment in Florida.
Right. I worked for this. You know how hard it was talking about all my problems for 30 days from a beach.
I really worked on myself.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy to look back on. But yeah, it does. It takes a certain person, man. It does. It takes some monumental people. Like, you know, it's like a common saying that they say, you know, it's attraction rather than promotion. And that's true. You know, I seen people that were just doing their thing and they didn't give a shit, you know, or they gave a shit, but, you know, they weren't like
selling me about it. They're just like, all right, yeah, dude, if you want what I have, then you should probably try to do what I do. That simple, dude. You know.
It's hard when you don't got nothing.
Right.
When you're like, yeah, but you already have all that.
Right. I remember and I was trying to front in early recovery.
Oh,
dude.
everyone tries to front in early recovery, dude.
Yeah.
Every single motherfucker I know has got something to say and some fucking grand story.
Right. I'm like, they're like, dude, go to these. Like, go help these people set up, and these dudes are trying to, take me to get coffee. Like, what's the catch? What's the catch? And I was like so embarrassed that like I couldn't even afford a cup of coffee. So I'm like making up lies and stuff. I'm like, no, man, I'm really busy. I got a meeting. And they're like, I'm pretty sure you don't have a job. What do you mean? You need to check your schedule, dude. It's all right. We'll buy you a Starbucks, dude. Really, we just want you to come hang with us, And I was like, oh no, that seems really weird, man. I don't know you guys, but yeah,
you're doing something nice for me.
Somebody nods their head at McDonald's. I'm like, what up, dude? Sure, I'll go on a 8-hour car drive with you. I'll
go on a 3-day bender.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, sure. I've never met you before. I'll stay at your house for a week. Why not?
Yeah, no, that's pride, man. I struggle with that. I struggle with pride, man. I struggle with that was a big thing in early recovery for me, man. Is like just I don't like telling people my problems. You know what I mean? Because it's like because where we come from, bro. People use your problems against you. You know what I mean? They'll fucking throw it right in your face about what your problem is.
Right.
So it's just like it's something that like I've always had a problem with, is being like, all right, this is what I got going on.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite. When we talk about our problems, usually it's what unites us now, but from the street life, like to smashing that whole idea, like, dude, I don't want to admit I have a problem, Don't you know who I am? Like this pride and ego thing, it's no joke.
Yeah, no, man, it's not, and it can fester in your life, and like it's not even related to drugs and alcohol anymore. It's just trying to figure out problems on your own and not relying on other people for help.
Yeah,
that's one of my biggest character defects, one of my biggest hurdles.
Yeah,
that I've been having to overcome slowly.
I always go back to the scoreboard thing because like the numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? I remember being them dude like trying to fight statistics when I'd be in treatment, somebody's in groups like, yeah, 1 out of 7 of you guys are gonna be dead in 30 days after you leave here, and I'm like, dude, don't talk to me like I'm a statistic. You don't know me. But I go back to like the numbers on the board, and it's like, all right, when I don't share my problems or I try to do everything by myself, it like never ends up quite as I pictured,
And that's even like in a practical sense too, man.
Yeah.
Like besides recovery, like, bro, people need help. Like in general, like with everything they do. Like, and like, why wouldn't you ask for help when you need it?
Yeah, and it's funny too, like earlier when you were talking about, I forgot to mention this too though, like about like the whole social media thing and like people coming out, and it's cool. I was talking to this other dude that I'm friends with, and I noticed like during Thanksgiving watching football, they're talking about Max Crosby and Prescott for the Cowboys, and they were talking about mental health and addiction and stuff like that, and we do need help. People generally need help. Now it's funny because like in recovery or just in life where I'm at in life, it's like I need help with like learning how to build my credit.
Yes.
Right? How do I set up a budget? How do I parent? Like that's been the biggest one lately, is like, thank God I have all these people in recovery that have been doing it for a long time, and they were like, literally, I give them the utmost credit in the world because they've like taught me how to be a man, what it looks like to be a parent, because there's no fucking manual. I remember people say shit like that, like there's no manual for parenting and stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But then you have kids, right? And you're like, fuck, what? Like, I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. Like, I need to ask other people what has helped them, what's worked for them, and I apply a lot of the things I learned in recovery, and just my life and relationships, dude. And thank God, you know, I look at it now like I'm grateful I'm an addict, because if I was a normie, I don't think that I would like try to utilize these principles in like my relationships and in my employment and being a parent, dude. And I truly think that it helps me in all those areas.
Yeah, I think everyone's faking it, man. Even the smartest people, I think they're faking this life thing. I think they're a bunch of big phonies and they don't know how to live life, just like I don't know how to live life.
Right. When you see people, that's just, and that's the culture that we're in too, is like, you know, not everything is roses. There's fucking thorns that will make you bleed, you know. And social media, we feel like that we have to like, you know, set these expectations and these bars and stuff like that. And like, that's just not the real shit. The people like I like, the people I like are like that. They post like, look, dude, this is super hard. Like my kid's got super glue in his hair and I had to cut out like a big chunk out of it, or whatever the example is, you know what I mean? And they're like really struggling, and they're like, yo, this is like really what's really going on, you know? And I think we get that too when we like talk to each other and stuff like that, when we can just talk about like really what we're struggling with, and it's no judgment and comfort. And that's like that's, I don't know about you, but that's a pretty kick-ass thing for me to have today.
Well, like, yeah, and like here's the thing, man, like life's hard. Like, and life's not fair. Life's hard, bro. Like, bro, right now I'm working 2 jobs. I don't have to work 2 jobs, and I'm working 2 jobs. By the way, podcast, I got a baby on the way. So,
I was hoping you dropped it. I didn't know if you put that out there yet.
Yeah, no, this is the first time. I got a little me on the way. I got a little devil.
Dude, that's amazing, dude. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's a blessing. But so, you know, like, bro, I worked 16 hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know what I mean? That's how much I'm working. I'm working 16 hours on those days, and other parts of my life are going to the wayside for it, and it's a lot, man. And so, like, in social media, the people, maybe not people like us, like me and you, or people in recovery, but normal people are either complaining about their lives and doing nothing about it, right? Or you would never know they actually have problems on social media. Like, you could look at their profiles and be like, oh, they live a perfect life, and they don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's funny. Like, I respect people, and I see people and out in like the public or something, I'm like, yo, hey, how you doing, you know, or whatnot. And they're like, man, actually I'm struggling right now, things are tough, you know, and they like just give it to me raw. I'm like, kudos to you, dude. Like, yes, you know. And you know, that's because, you know, I'm fine, I'm good.
I think politicians would get so much further if they just acted like normal people. Right. If they were just like, yeah, no, I had an affair with my wife. Yeah.
Right.
You know, I did that.
Right.
Yeah, no, I lied. I told you guys I was going to, you know, incorporate, you know, a lower rate of taxes, and it wasn't possible. Like,
right.
I feel like, bro, I talk about Rob Ford often on the podcast. Rob Ford's in there smoking crack, dude, as the, you know, Canada mayor, Toronto mayor. You know what I mean? Sign me up for a politician like that who just owns his shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's the type of person I vote for. You know?
Off rip.
Right? Because you know there's some other stuff going on. The ones that don't say anything, like those are the people you gotta watch out for. Mm-hmm. The people that life's going like perfect. It's like, yeah. No.
I don't really believe that.
Nobody's life's that perfect. I definitely don't trust you.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a brief podcast from this. We're gonna take a brief break from this podcast, and we'll be right back in just a second. Welcome back to the Agri Lads Podcast. My name is Cameron, and before we get back into it, let me just say, check out our Redbubble. Our Redbubble is going crazy right now. Help support the worst fucking podcast in the world. Help us out, man. I'm trying to get my own studio. I'm trying to get videography going. I'm trying to give you guys some better content. You know, and I can't do this by myself. I got to do it with the listeners, with the supporters, with the help of you guys. Purdue Pharmaceuticals aren't giving me payback yet from all the money I've given them. So please, help support the worst podcast in the world. We're working on big things with Spotify. Joe Rogan just called me. He told me to move down to Austin. And so I'm thinking about it, but it's a lot on my plate right now. I've also been talking to The Weeknd. The Weeknd called me recently. We're working out a solo album deal. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but help support the podcast. Follow us on Redbubble at agrolabsfams.com. Buy some gear. We got hats for all you guys who are bald. I don't know how that's going, dude. Buy a hoodie. It's getting cold outside. You know, you can layer up, especially for us big boys. We have to layer up, have a shirt jacket, have a hoodie. And then buy a shirt, man. I got fucking TikTok shirts. You want to be an island boy? I got an island boy on a shirt. Go ahead, buy it, get it, wear it. Look like a dumbass around your community. Just help support the worst podcast in the world.
Show my man some support, dude, for real. We need it.
For sure, dude. For sure.
But no, this is but hey, man, you know, it's progress, not perfection. I'm sitting here and looking at Cam's studio, and hey, dude, that's getting the fucking job done, right?
Yeah, man, it's a lab.
It is.
It's a lab. We got a little coffee pot, little snack area. Got a little stripper pole with lights, couch.
Yeah. I'm not getting on that, Cam. Don't even try.
Oh, it's not for you.
Oh, all right, cool.
I actually wouldn't put your hands on that pole.
We're gonna need some sanitizer.
You'll get some fucking snail trail on your hand, dude.
Oh, dude.
You'll get fucking ectoplasm on that motherfucker, dude.
And we're worried about COVID, right?
Omicron. Nah, dude, we're getting shut down again. 100%. We're getting shut down. This shit's now affecting kids. And I mean, as a soon-to-be parent and you know, you being a parent, you know what you're willing to do for your kid. So...
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude.
This is now affecting kids, so they're definitely going to be shutting us down again.
Yeah, it is. It becomes scary when you become a parent and you have to deal with stuff. Just recently, so my son, we've talked about it before. We found out that he was deaf. I carry a gene. His mom carries a gene, and he couldn't hear. And we just had surgery on him. He just got cochlear implants put on, and he's heard for about 4 or 5 days now. Ever in his life. And dude, when you're in the hospitals and stuff like that, you know, and you think you're defensive over yourself, you have no idea. When you have a kid, it's like, dude, you need to take care of this kid, you know. It's always scary too when they get blood drawn. Dude, terrifying. Because
yeah, man, you feel like they're hurting your kids.
Yeah. And you figure like me, I'm you know, in my past I was always the fighter and you know, the hard ass and everything else like that, but I have to worry about his mom. His mom's she will tear somebody up, you know.
That's Mama Bear.
Yeah, it's weird being in the position where I'm the reasonable one. I'm you go ahead, you just wait in the hallway, let me take care of it, you know, and which is a good feeling. Oh, it is a good feeling.
What was it like, man, when you heard that news that he was gonna need those implants?
Bro, I was devastated, but you know, it's weird to say, but I just, you know, things are going so good, you know, I'm man, we're gonna have some kind of adversity in our life eventually, you know, and I was just you know, I was in shock, I guess, because I'm man, I'm singing to the kid, I'm playing the drums with him, you know, my whole family's in music, and then we find out, you know, that he couldn't hear us, and I was what, you know, but dude, it's crazy the way technology is, you know, they put these implants on his ears, and he's got these processors, and we keep turning the volume up, and it just keeps upping the voltage, and eventually he's gonna hear me and you are kind of hearing. I mean, it's not the same, but it's just crazy to think that that's where we're at in life and technology. You know, I'm oh, he's great. He's just got the most expensive AirPods ever. You know, it's you know, but
it's so crazy too, man. Because I mean, your son looks just like you. He looks just like you, spit and image. In all regards, except for one, right? He looks perfect. Yeah. Healthy baby boy. Right. You know, so it's not even you would know anything was up or even have an inclination, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing changes. You know what I mean? It really doesn't. It's just going to be some work, and it's going to be. I think it's amazing at the same time too, because it's a big perspective shift for me. Like the other son I raised, Gabe, he's in a wheelchair. He's got spina bifida, and here for the longest time, I'm just walking the earth like an asshole. Taking for granted all these things, and then I feel like God put these adversities into my life to, as a lesson, man. And, when we're going to venues and places like that, man, I'm like, it's weird. I never thought that I would be like noticing if it's like ADA, handicap accessible, and, just how blessed that we are to be able to sit here and speak like we are and listen to music like we are and stuff like that, man. And, you start dealing with them struggles, and it's a whole new appreciation for the senses that you have,
100%, man.
Yeah.
And thank God for modern technology, I mean, they fucking put 50 staples in my head and drilled a hole in my head and suctioned 10 ounces of blood off my brain. You know what I mean? I would have been a goner, 40 years ago or whatever the case was.
Right.
So I mean, that's what it was for me, man. It was like just realizing that, like, there's things that happen to people that they're generally good people in the world, and they're innocent in all regards, and they're fucking bad shit happens to them, and they're no longer here, and you're here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're here. Like, you're on this earth living, and other people don't ever get a chance to live the way you live.
Right. You picked me.
Dude, I get fucking McDonald's onions stuck in my beard, and I don't bathe for a couple days.
Right. Oh man, dude, that's the truth, dude. That's crazy, man. Too, all them staples, and what happened with that? I can't remember.
I hit my head on the like the cement, like driveway apparitions. Like the cement curb head.
Yeah. I
hit my left side of my head on that cement curb head, and I was riding my bike, and I had what was called a subdermal hematoma. Okay. So it's like a concussion, but on the inside of your brain. And basically my head was pooling with blood, and it was squishing my brain. So they cut me from the top of my head all the way around down to my ear, drilled a hole in my skull, suctioned the blood off, put the piece of skull back, and stapled me up like Humpty Dumpty.
Bada bing, there you go.
Yeah, like it was so easy, right?
Right.
And then, I mean, I'm incredibly lucky. I should be a vegetable or have some form of mental retardation, or which maybe a little bit I do. But just terrible things should have happened. I could have been, paralyzed or not been able to move a certain part of my body, and I woke up and forgot how to tie my shoes.
Right.
That was it.
Dude, and like it is crazy looking back on it too. Like, so like Legend surgery, like they cut behind his ear, they drilled a hole through the skull. There's a tube that runs to the cochlea, and they just put this neuron down there, just like fished it through like it was a speaker wire, plugged it in, sewed him up, like it was like a 4-hour procedure or something like that, and I sit back there and look at like, man, how did these guys figure this out? Or they're just like, all right, you can't hear? Hold on, I wonder if we can just plug these neurons in through this little tube and, juice you up a little bit, and it might fix things,
Well, that's what's crazy is that, like, nowadays people are like people will, like, outright, like, deny science. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they'll deny certain aspects of science. And like, here it is. They can do head transplants. Reason for a head transplant. In general, a head transplant would be indicated when an individual brain remains normal, but the body function is severely compromised or is anticipated to. So they can literally transplant your head onto another body right now, man. They can just cut your fucking head off and put it on some other fucking jack-off's body. And I mean, not good to go, but I mean,
Yeah.
If your body stops working, they can put your head on a new body.
Let me ask you this, Cam. If they could just take your head and put it on a different body, dude.
Mila Kunis.
It's like the mashups you see on TV where it's like a different person's head in a different body, you know?
Yeah, Mila
like,
Kunis.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you for that choice.
Dude, I've had a crush on her since that 70 shows, dude.
That was a great show.
I was so jealous of Kelso, dude. I was like, that stupid motherfucker.
Man, it's always the idiots.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read this. This is a head transplant, right? Head transplant would theoretically involve surgically removing the head of someone with a terminal illness and attaching their blood vessels, muscles, trachea, and esophagus with those structures of the donor body. The most recently proposed head transplant procedure also involves fusing the recipient and donor's spinal nerves.
Yeah.
Subsequent spinal surgery and conceivable extensive physical therapy could ideally recover both sensation and motor function. However, functions like breathing and eating would need to be transiently supported by a ventilator and feeding tube before the connections between the brain and body are adequately restored.
Wow.
We're living in a fucking sci-fi story, my guy.
Right.
Like this is some Dr. Spock shit.
That's like some, what was the movie when I was growing up? Showing my age, but RoboCop?
Oh, yeah.
It was like the robot, but it had like the brain in it, you know?
The $1 Million Man. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
The $1 Million... Bro, the $1 Million Man.
How do you feel about the new Matrix is about to drop? Were you ever a fan of the Matrix movies?
What?
Yeah.
I did not know a new one was about to drop.
Dude, December 22nd.
New Matrix movie. You're kidding me.
I swear to God. My whole family is like
It's got Keanu in it?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, so what was it? Was it look cool in the trailer or what? You watch the trailer?
I watched a little bit of the trailer, but I'm just psyched for just the fact that they're bringing him back and doing another Matrix movie. Everybody I've been asking, I'm like,
they got Jada Pinkett Smith in that motherfucker.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Everybody I encounter that's like somewhat excited about it, I'm like, so are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill, you know? I had somebody told me today, like, hey, I'm telling you should take the red pill.
Well, you know, I don't think the Matrix, the actual storyline of the Matrix, is too far off from, you know, what could be the possibility of reality. You know, like eventually, not now, but sooner or later, man. Like, are we going to get to this certain point where like people would rather plug into the metaverse than reality?
I was just going to bring that up to you, man. You know, I'm sure a lot of people would, you know?
You walk around like a caricature and make it however you want.
Yeah. You get enough coins and you just build yourself up just to be like amazing, you know? And like, hey, you can just plug out a reality and in the metaverse, I'm just, you know, completely somebody different. I think that'd be cool, to, you know, be somebody different for a day, you know, just plug in and see what it's like, you know?
Well, that's how it's moving, man. I mean, not for nothing. There's a lot of people out there who make their livings via the internet exclusively now. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think who it was. That podcast I sent you the other day. Dude was predicting that, like, he said like 80% of the population would be working. You know, via the internet, you know, everything else is going to be automated, you know, which is pretty believable. We're leaning there.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, I definitely believe it because, like, it comes down to, like, accessibility. You know what I mean? Like, these corporations are going to keep paying you money to do. I think the only jobs that will be available will be people when it comes to jobs that are dealing with people. Because, I mean, I don't think they have yet made robots to handle that yet.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, they're getting close to, like, automated semi-truck driving and shit. And that's going to be scary because 50% of USA male graduate high school students are truck drivers.
Yeah.
So there's 50% of the population that are going to be out of a job once they streamline automotive services.
Right, and you think too that doing something like that, what if there was some kind of terrorist hack or something like that, like the havoc that would be caused by. What was the movie? Do you remember Maximum Overdrive? Did you ever see that movie when you were a kid, where like all the like cars and microwaves and appliances were all like taking over and like killing all the humans?
Have you been watching these deep fake videos?
No, not since I was working directly with you. Not much.
Dude, they're like literally making spot on like celebrity deep fake fucking porn and putting like their same voices, the same tonality, the same person, and they're putting them in like videos that like they're doing like criminalistic things. And I mean, it's crazy, man, what they're going to be able to do to people, and like the type of blackmail they're going to be able to do to people pretty soon.
Yeah, I think there was one, what was it, with Tom Cruise or something like that, but like you cannot tell the difference.
It's fucking, I mean, hold on, I'm trying to find. Well, they did Addison Rae recently. They did an Addison Rae, a famous actress. They did her in a deep fake porn, which is here.
Your excitement on your face right now.
Here, this is just for educational purposes, man. Natalie Portman. It looks just like Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't tell me it was a fake,
you wouldn't
I have no idea.
You wouldn't know, man. Dude, no.
Not at all.
No, and that's this is getting fucking real weird and real fucking scary real quick, man. That like they're just going to be able to like, you know, potentially post videos. If someone doesn't like you, they'll have the ability in the software to just post you doing something so heinous.
Right.
And that even though it's not true and you didn't do it, you know what I mean? It'll live on in the internet forever.
Yeah, still. Yeah. That's scary. It's like weird. It's like exciting but scary at the same time. You know? I'm like, part of me is like excited to see what kind of crazy shit comes out, and then another part of me is scared, like, damn, dude, what will this world come to? Yeah.
Well, I think it comes down to like, just like me and you had to find a better way to live, like, in recovery. Mm-hmm. Society has to find a better way to live.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be like there has to be like a better model for life than the way we're living right now.
Right, with all the disease and, you know, people being poor and everything else. But yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
And we could figure out how to like have travels to the moon. You know? Who was one of the sportscasters just said something, they're going up to the moon on that first trip. Like, that's crazy.
Oh,
you know, we're like, oh yeah, would you go for a vacation? I hit the moon, seen the crest.
Oh, me and the kids, we're going out to the moon this summer.
You know, yeah, it was cool. We brought back some little pebbles. You know, like, the fuck, man.
I'm gonna go live with Jeff Bezos on Mars.
Right.
I mean, that's where we're going, man. That's where we're trending. We're trending to that kind of like weird sci-fi state, and it's what's even crazier is like the things that used to just be like fictional or not, or like sci-fi have like slowly been eking into reality as life has been coming on and going.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like simplicity is not that bad. I was so scared of simplicity for the longest time, but like, did you ever think, like, you know, our parents are like, you know, they didn't have cell phones, or, you know, it was just a TV and no internet, you know, and that was enough. You know. Now we're like, we don't leave without this mobile device on us. You know, this
thing can tell you anything you want to know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's at the palm of your fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you search up, you're going to find it on this handheld device, right? Whether it's video games, deep fake celebrity porn, whether it's fucking podcasts, information, whether it's Wikipedia, YouTube videos on how to clean your gutters the correct way, you're going to find it, man. And like...
And there's somebody that sees your search history.
You know,
there's a market for that, you know?
Oh, there's some weird motherfuckers who take that job at the CIA just to take it. They're like, yeah, I know what I'm going to be doing on this guy's phone for the next couple of days.
Yeah. That'd probably be a pretty interesting gig, though, if you think about it.
Oh, for sure.
100%. I would dig into that, you know?
100%, dude. I don't know, man. Like... When we went camping a lot this summer, it was so nice to just, tell work, like, hey, I'm not going to have my phone on me. I'm disconnecting for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then, like, literally plug out of the matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really nice. I remember, like, just white knuckling onto my phone. When I would go to treatment, I would, like, try to sneak in my phone so bad, It was like crack. And, just unplugging for a little bit, man. The other day I just unplugged and was just present with my kid, and dude, it was so awesome, and it was just so full of serenity and just not worrying about like all the notifications and dings on what's going on, work, and it's you get so accustomed to that stuff, right, that you don't really realize like that's not normal for us human beings, right, to be thinking and worrying and stressed.
100%, man.
It's not like it wasn't. The only stress that they had, our ancestors had, right, was like, all right, hunting, gathering, right. Either you're going to go out and do some hunting and try to provide, or you're going to gather and stay here and just take care of the fam.
Like, the way they lived was more brutal, so like you had to worry about like someone coming to like kill your family and you for your resources,
right?
Or some predators out there, bears, mountain lions, stuff like that. But life was pretty straightforward. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was pretty black and white in terms of like living. Like you hunt food, you eat it, you provide for your family, in a way, and then you go on and live your life and spread your seed, spread your knowledge to the people that you created.
Yeah.
And now it's like we don't have to be on a phone, right? But we all know those weird guys who are like, nah, I don't have Facebook, and you're just kind of like, what? Why don't you have Facebook? Like, and they can come up with any reason, but you still get that eerie feeling like, why not? And so it's like, to be somewhat successful, like how many people do you know that like got jobs because of Facebook, or like making connections off an Instagram, or did something big because of social media? So it's like we're forced to live in these little square phones now to make our lives better.
Right. I mean, the purpose was convenience, but now like they're just big information collecting devices. You know what I mean? Like, how many times did maybe somebody apply for a job or something like that, and literally you went right to Facebook, typed in their name, and you're like, okay, you could get a little bit of feedback from them, and you 100% looked at them for whatever position or reasoning it was,
Or like, I'm posting, dude, I posted job listings on Facebook and people replied. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they hit me up and like I gave my number. We talked about what the job entails, and then they came and interviewed for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's right above the deep fake porn.
It's right above my shitty world's worst podcast fucking post. Like, what are we getting into? I'm like, you just got to come here.
See, the thing for the job is you have to pay me to work here.
yeah, dude. No, but like seriously, man. Like we're forced. Like, you don't have to have a phone. You know what I mean? But there's some things you're gonna technically miss out on then. You know what I mean? Like, how much of me building this podcast up is solely based on social media platforms and the internet?
Right.
All of it.
Right.
All of it. You know what I mean?
I think it's crazy too, like navigation, right? Like, I would go on trips with my grandparents, and I remember them like having the map in the back.
For sure.
What you didn't take 75? you should have took 75, you know, like that's what their conversations were, you know, and like the typical men don't stop at gas station to ask for like directions and stuff, you know. And then like now I find myself just following my directions from my phone, and I remember I like realized halfway through the trip it's completely taken me out of the way that I wanted to go, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that the cloud is telling me to go this way for a reason, because this gas station's on the way if I take this route. Or
oh dude, and then Siri's always telling me to take a left turn right when the best part of the song comes on. In 400 feet, take a left turn. Like, bro, I'm trying to listen to some music I got going right now.
Right. You know, hopefully nothing bad happens to me, knock on wood, after I leave here, but I like Alexa better than Siri.
Really?
I think for I use...
You're gonna die.
I remember...
You're gonna be murdered.
Noted. But like just the software with it, because I remember being like, you know, Apple products, you know. And then I remember being like weird about getting Alexa stuff in the house, and I'm like, I don't know if we should do that, you know. We use all Apple, but now I feel like they're all integrated anyway. They work together. But I just feel like, you know, I think Alexa's a much better listener.
Oh, for sure, dude. Edward Snowden is inside of Alexa, dude. Just waiting for you to say something wrong about the government, dude.
Right. These notifications keep coming, and I'm not understanding it. Why is
how do they know what kind of sausage I like?
Why is Siri telling me to drive out into the desert? This is odd,
bro. So I went backpacking out with my cousin in West Virginia and Virginia, and on the way back home, Siri had like somehow routed us. They thought like the most easiest. Basically, we would lose GPS up in the mountains, and then it would just take us in big circles through mountains. So like the drive is like 13 hours anyways, but for like 3 hours we were just coming up and down on this mountain. We're like this is the same fucking mountain.
I'm pretty sure this river looks the same. We passed this before.
Yeah, so Siri tried routing us through Washington DC and then like back up through Kentucky to like get to Ohio, and we're like, this is the most asinine way to get to Toledo.
Right. And the messed up thing about that is, if you would, you know, ask the majority of the population, like, dude, just would you look at a map, they'd look at you like you're crazy.
For sure.
Right?
For sure, 100%.
Like a map.
Well, they were
ask for directions.
Who does that? They were being assholes to us too, because like up in the mountains, like your brakes get hot. Like your brakes go bad up in the mountains because you're stopping so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, we're going downhill in a mountain, and his foot isn't on the gas, and we're doing 80.
And go left here. There's nothing but a cliff.
and so like the people who live there, they would like fly around us because we were like going too slow.
Right.
And they would like fly, like flick us off, and we're like, bro, we're like 800 feet above sea level.
Damn foreigners.
Yeah, you know, dude. I went to this IHOP up in fucking Virginia, and it was like the weirdest experience. It was like walking into like you know how all Agent Smiths look the same? Dude, all of my waiters look like cousins and brothers. Like there wasn't a single guy in that IHOPs that didn't have cheeseburger, hair coming out their fucking chest, and a shitty mustache and bald head, and they all had the same tone in the voice.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm eating it anyway. I'm hungry.
You know they all had the same wife too.
Dude, speaking of that, I was just out in Colorado a little bit ago, and so we were like driving through the mountains and stuff, and was it 70 or 80 goes right through the mountainside, and I'm just like looking around like, this is freaking crazy.
Bro,
driving
so
through these mountains like this. And we went to this like little random town in the middle of the mountains, and we got this, it's called I think Bijou Pizza, I believe it was that, but it's special because of the air is so thin and they cook it that high up in the mountain, dude. The crust was so good. And you eat the pizza and then they have like big jars of honey on the table and you just see people around you just smashing the pizza until they get to the crust and just lathering this honey on this crust and smashing it. And I'm looking around like, man, what's this all about? Next thing you know, I'm so sticky, dude.
Fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Dude, straight up.
Just sticking your hand in the honey jar and rubbing it all over the crust, dude.
That's a feeling, dude. Sticky. Right?
Oh, it's quite the feeling, man.
You'll get used to sticky after having kids, dude.
Yeah.
You might be used to sticky already, but just wait.
No, I've been sniffing glue forever.
This podcast is also sponsored by Elmer's.
Yeah, shout out to Elmer's. We just got your nice new shipment full of nice glue, non-scented. We can definitely tell the consistency has changed from the last batch. So we do appreciate that at the Echo Labs podcast. Shout out to Elmer's Glue, guys. Support the podcast. Help your kids fuck your shit up at home. And take a nice deep breath.
Did you ever do that in school? You remember rubber cement? You know, where you like cement? It was like Elmer's rubber cement, and you just like slather it on the table and let it dry a little bit, and then you'd like roll it and then make like this like booger stuff, and you like throw it at other kids. No, you never did that one.
No, but I do remember
Elmer's. We're gonna need some rubber cement.
I remember chewing on erasers. That was one of my favorite pastimes, chewing on erasers, and then I was a big like sniffing the antibacterial sanitizer guy. Still am. During this whole COVID epidemic, one of my favorite things to do is use sanitizer and then just take a nice.
I did it the other day. My girl had some coffee on the. We were at a restaurant and I used some hand sanitizer, not even thinking about it. And I went to go take a drink of her coffee and I'm like, oh my God, is there fucking tequila in this? Am I really that bad? You got to start drinking tequila at 6 a.m.
She's just been slipping tequila in your drink unknowingly.
Like, wait a minute. That's just sanitizer. We're good for now.
Yeah, no, man. Fucking. As a kid, man, my childhood was so much different than the kids nowadays. Like, I was out there at like 7 and 8, like whittling sticks.
Oh yeah,
and like fucking
building forts.
Right, dude. My parents would let me ride my bike like 7 miles away, and there was no cell phones.
Yeah.
None.
No, when it starts getting dark, have your ass home.
Yeah, or whatever the case was. They didn't know where the fuck I was.
Yeah.
I called off like a landline at like 8 o'clock. Hey, Mom, I'm at so-and-so's house. I'll be home soon. Like,
right.
They didn't know where I was.
There was a dude where I grew up at. There used to be woods, man, and people would steal cars and take them in these woods and burn them and everything else. And this one time, I remember I was probably like 13, 14. This dude from the apartment complex across the street got buried alive in these woods.
Holy shit.
And it was right over our jump. And I remember, I look back at it now and I'm like, dude, what the hell? And I remember like hitting that jump, and the police are there, and the news crew's there, and I'm like, oh, I'll show you where it is. My jump's right here by it, and I just proceeded to just hit my jump in the woods. You know, like nothing ever happened.
Cool trick over
I'm
his
like,
body.
Yeah, it's right over here, dude. Let me try doing a knack over it for you. Try to catch that on film, please.
Were you a Big Bmxer?
Yeah, I was. I had many periods, dude. I think I was always trying to whatever was in, man. I remember I was, skateboarding and then rollerblading, and then the skateboarders were pissed because I was rollerblading. I was like that guy for a minute, but it was always BMX bikes. We always were just a group of us would just get together and find sweet places to ride and just like completely destroy our bodies,
All of those things are so hard. Like, people don't realize how hard rollerblading, skateboarding, and BMXing is.
Oh yeah.
Like, they don't realize how fucking tough any of it is.
Were you one of them kids like I was, where you'd like swoop up your buddy and like on the pegs or like on the handlebars, and I would ride? For sure. I would like be the kid. I don't see it much anymore, but I would be riding right in the turning lane, trucking miles
Yes.
to my homies' houses.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, dude, I burned so many calories, you know, and I'm wondering what's going on with the
100%.
kids of this age, you know.
100%, man. And you know how many fucking pants I've ripped on my fucking chain, dude? I would just throw some fucking jeans on, and then 2 miles into the ride, just rip that pant leg off, dude.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I used to book it, man. I used to be on my bicycle from the age of like 7 to like fucking 21.
Last year.
Dude, I was sick, dude. I remember my ex-girlfriend back in the day posted a meme about me, and it was like would you hit your ex if you seen him on a bike? And she was like, LOL, he don't even got a bike. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. That's true. I was like, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah, that one hit my pride where it hurt.
Yeah, it struck a nerve.
Yeah, dude. I was like, don't talk shit about the mongoose I sold for crack.
Dude, I have my mongoose still. I just restored it like a year or two ago. It's funny, man. I've had this thing for so long. I don't know how I held on to it. Probably because it was hidden at my mom's in like a garage or something, you know.
What kind of Harley you got?
I got a Street Glide, and then I have my pride and joy is my dad. Like when I was growing up, so my parents had like this little one-room shack and like a piece of land on it, and my dad called it the Harley house. Literally, that's what it was. All my baby pictures were like me and like a 1.5-year-old jungle gymming on like 3 different Harleys in this like little one-room shack. But my dad had this. It's an '83 Super Glide, and I grew up and I watched him work on it and pimp it out and just change things, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I remember being like, one day that's gonna be mine, you know. And then my dad got older, and he just never rode it. And I remember the day he was like, all right, kid, you can take it out. And I was like, oh my God, I've arrived, you know.
Dude.
But I have that bike still, and that's like, it's not like super fast or anything like that. It's just a cruiser, but it's just nostalgic.
For sure.
Yeah.
You feel something when you ride that. You know what I mean? I think later on in life, you know, when I'm in a position to, I think I'm gonna get a bike.
You'll love it, man. You will love it. It's scary. It is scary now. Like now that I'm a parent, I didn't ride as much as I did before, just because everybody's on their cell phones. You know, usually even including me when I'm on the motorcycle. No,
On the motorcycle?
No.
On the motorcycle, dude? You're just scrolling?
Yeah, I won't do it for the gram. No, but so many people are on their phones, but getting out in the country, Cam, it's like wind therapy. I've never experienced just being present, nothing like being sober and riding a motorcycle, especially in like the fall time. I just bust over the border and head up into Michigan, and you can like just smell fall in the air and just the wind hitting you. It's not too cold and it's not too hot, and it's just something about it. It's just very, very freeing. You know, I feel like it's like a reset for me when I get back after that. It's a mood changer for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. My father bought me a PW50 when I was 5 years old. So I started riding dirt bikes at 5. By like 7, I had a bigger bike, and I learned how to like use the clutch. Yeah, it's so cool, man. Me and my family. At Thanksgiving, all the younger boys had PW50s, and we had like this big acre. My grandma owned a restaurant out in like Fulton County, and we would like roll around this acre of land, like racing each other on it was cool. But my dad had some work done, and they fucking he got his garage redone, and they stole the fucking dirt bikes out of the garage. And like 10 years later, we found our dirt bikes in like Tennessee or some shit.
What? You found them?
Yeah, they found them.
That's rare.
Yeah, they found the dirt bikes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had it. A couple of hot dirt bikes growing up, but Yeah, I kind of had the same background growing up. I loved that shit. Yeah, dude, just ripping, dude, and and it's crazy too because like I look back at it now and I'm like, I did so much dangerous shit,
Oh yeah.
And nowadays, like at a time, for a time, I was like a door-to-door salesman, right? I used to sell these Dolphin vacuum cleaners.
Those are the worst jobs,
bro. But like literally, people would let me in their house. They'd give me coffee, dude. I'd go, they'd let me use their bathroom, and I'm like, dude. Nowadays, you know what I mean? You won't even let anybody on your porch. You know what
EverDry is?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm in fucking just the midst of my active addiction, and there's this Craigslist posting of EverDry for $12 an hour, just a salesperson, and I'm just hype. I'm like, I'm gonna go for it, dude. They're like commission and $300 weekly bonus,
up to $100,000.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna get that money, dude. And I fucking go and I drive my car there, and like I got the job, and it's my first day, and they don't really tell me what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably a good thing because I would have never took the job in the first place.
Right.
And they're like, all right, time to get in the van. And I'm like, where are we going? They're like, oh, we go door to door.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, we knock on people's doors who don't want to buy our shit, and we ask them to buy it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. I'd see the EverDry dudes at the morning at the gas station all the time by work.
Shout out to
hope you guys have a good day. I actually have a buddy that works for EverDry that's actually very, very successul.
I bet. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I was strung out, though. You know what I mean? You could look at me and see it.
Yeah.
I remember one time.
It's bad when people don't even want you to go in their basement to see the water damage. They're like, nah, I think we're all right.
Yeah,
we're going to let it flood.
There was this time we were out in like some fucking, I think we were out in like Port Clinton. We were out in like some podunk area. And there was a guy I knew who worked there who was using with me. And he knew. And we got like pulled over by the cops. And like the cops were like, I guess it was like illegal in their county to like solicit people and go door to door or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so we got pulled over and stopped, and he like ran our names, and I like my wallet, like in the van, I had my wallet on me, and I chucked my driver license like in the van somewhere. And because one of my things I used to do when cops used to pull me over is my name spelled fucking wonky as hell.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, yeah, it's CAMERON, Mylik, MYLIK, and then I'd give him my birth date or whatever.
Oh, it's funny. We don't see you in the system.
Well, no, he was like, are you related to Cameron Mylik, spelled with a K? And I'm like, no, I don't know who that is. He's like, what's your social security number? And I'm like, I don't remember it. And I get away with it, right? And then one of the managers is just like, why is your license in the back of the van? And I'm like, yeah, I have a warrant for my arrest.
See, the thing is,
he would have booked me.
Probably should be driving your vehicle, sir. No, it's funny.
No, I didn't have a driver's license.
Right.
It was a state ID. I'm sorry.
Right. That's good, dude. That's funny when you think about I think it's good for like kids of the generation to just get out and work different jobs. You know what I mean? Like to just get like a little bit of like appreciation. Like I feel like everybody should be a server at one point in their life to learn how to deal with people.
For sure.
Gives you a good sense of a judgment of dealing with people too.
The most embarrassing moment of my life in active addiction, I worked at Bob Evans.
Poppies.
Oh, dude, I made good money, dude. Great money, and I was good at my job.
That's awesome.
I had a bad bladder problem when I worked there. I had a terrible bladder infection. I had to constantly use a bathroom. But there was this fucking old guy, dude. He was like the white Urkel. You know what I mean? Suspenders and
pocket protector.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the guy looked like he ate catfish for breakfast. Just a real American old man. And this motherfucker, I got hot coffee, and he's reaching for the hot cup of coffee as I'm pouring the cup, and I'm like, you gotta let me put it down, sir. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it down for you, sir. Not a problem. Don't worry about it. But he keeps reaching for the cup as I'm pouring it, and he fucking grabs it, and it spills all over his face. It spills all over his fucking face and on his fucking body. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, sir. He's cussing at me. I was trying to grab it from you, and I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life.
So that's what happened to Bob Evans.
Yeah, no, I still had a job there. They couldn't afford to lose me. You know, they didn't serve alcohol, so they hired a bunch of like 16-year-old kids, and I was like 19, and I would show for every shift, and I would give to every shift.
Yes.
And I would, if you didn't want to work a shift, I'd work it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I got fired from there, obviously because of my using drugs or something. It was like in relation to that. And the fucking GM was such a cocksucker to me, dude. Like all these kids would like call off of work, and I had worked a double. And was like, I'm taking a 20-minute break. And I was like in the back eating food, and he was like, yeah, you're done here. And I was like, okay, I'm done. It's fucking Bob Evans, buddy.
I'm finishing my food, though.
That's what I told him.
I'm going to be definitely finishing the sausage and gravy. Their sausage and gravy's good.
Oh, I was so mad. He wouldn't let me cash out. He wouldn't let me cash out, so I couldn't get my credit card tips, dude. Yeah.
Funny story about Bob Evans, dude. So, growing up, the actual Bob Evans farm is in southern Ohio. I think it's in Delaware, right outside Columbus.
What do they grow, kids?
Yeah. I don't know. My grandparents had stock in Bob Evans, so like that was like a weekend trip for us. We would drive to the Bob Evans farm, and I remember there was nothing to do there but like play in a creek and try to catch tadpoles. Like,
what was the farm like? Like, what was it? Like, was it like a legitimate farm?
Yeah, it was like a legitimate farm. Like, I'm pretty sure they had like the stock meetings in like a barn, like a really big red barn. You have to look it up.
Yeah, Bob Evans farm.
Yeah.
I went to the pumpkin patch this Thanksgiving, this October. Let's see.
Did you? Yeah, pumpkin patch. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Get a donut. Some cider.
Yeah, some cider, some donuts, dude.
Yeah.
And then we went on a corn maze. Went through a corn maze. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice, dude.
Yeah.
It's just a big white barn.
When I was growing up, I remember it red, but I don't know.
Dude, they're growing like biscuits there, straight out the ground.
Oh, dude. Just wondering where that gravy comes from.
So it's like a gravy.
Dude, I think, honestly, though, Bob Evans sausage and gravy is probably one up there on the list.
Oh, dude,
that
their food
beef
was
vegetable soup was always really good.
Funny you mentioned their biscuits and gravy. Every morning, I would wake up my drug dealer with biscuits and gravy from Bob Evans because he knew I worked there. So he'd be like, "Yeah, man, bring me some biscuits and gravy."
Butter this biscuit, it's all.
And I'd show up to his door in my uniform. Yeah, I'd show up to the door in my uniform with biscuits and gravy.
So you were a good drug addict, right?
Yeah. I was decent.
Yeah,
I was decent for a time. I was decent. Yeah, dude, I was a decent person. But. Yeah, no, dude, fucking... The one place I won't go is Denny's or Waffle House.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be pretty hard up to go to Denny's or Waffle House.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? IHOP or Bob Evans is the go-to.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's mad good? I went to Michael's over on the east side. You ever been to Michael's on the east side?
No.
You know where, like, the docks are and all that, right? And, like, where they're building all those condominiums?
Yeah.
Once you pass that over on... that light right where
like BP and
right where Wendy's is, that light.
Yeah.
If you turn left on the opposite side of Wendy's, there's like this
on the right, the little shack thing.
Next to the shack thing, there's a building, right? And it looks like dilapidated, but you walk in and it's Michael's Cafe, bro. Get this shit, bro. They make everything from scratch in the kitchen. Everything is from scratch in that kitchen. Shout out to Michael's, man. Right before you came over, we ate an eclair from there, homemade eclair. pastries homemade, the chocolate dips homemade, the fillings homemade. But they do like sandwiches there and fucking the bun you're eating the sandwich on was made in that kitchen.
Yeah, I like that.
It was fucking amazing when I had it yesterday. Me and Murph went, dude. It was mind blowing.
Really?
Mind blowing, bro.
Yeah. What was the place we just called it Greasy Spoon? Right there by the High Level Bridge. Little breakfast place.
Oh,
Go
I don't
eat
know,
breakfast
dude.
after all the bars and stuff like that.
Toledo's got some good eats, bro. Casley's?
Casley's is my favorite, dude. I was just there last weekend, actually, and it was like nice. I was going in there and talking with the family, and like they're all Browns fans, so
It's cheap too, man. Like,
Yeah.
like there's no like. I mean, you can go to like fucking what's that place? Rick City's Diners. You can go to like First Watch, and that's got good food. But yo, bro, you walk into Casley's, bro, with $40, bro, you're buying for like 6 people.
Oh yeah, you're coming up on some grub, dude. I think it was like, I was like, man, this is amazing. I just got everybody food at the house for like $19, dude. I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude.
what?
Pancakes, syrup, dude. The hash browns.
eggs, omelets. Like, yeah. You know what else is good? One of my favorite things. My family just got it today. Mama's Kitchen.
Where's that?
It's right at like Tremainsville and Lasky. And they have this breakfast burrito thing. This thing will put you in a coma, dude. But it's so good, bro. It's like, dude, it's like a Chipotle burrito full with, egg, sausage, bacon, everything.
Potatoes. I'm sure they got some
Potatoes.
Oh,
and then
my God.
Slathered with cheese. And then they just put gravy over top of it, you know? It's just like, oh.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, you got to take a nap after that one.
I've seen Mama's Kitchen. I know what you're talking about, but it looks like sketchy.
Oh, dude.
It looks so sketchy.
Those are the best places, though,
no,
right?
but I thought it was like, I didn't think it was anything that was in there, though. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I love the hole in the walls place. Maybe my dad used to do that. My dad would sit and drink in the kitchen and watch Dines, Drives, and what is it? Dives, Diners, and Drives.
Yeah.
You know, with the Guy Fieri dude. And I would just remember being like taking mental notes of the places that guy went and being like, yeah, one day I'm going to hit one of those up, you know? I hit one of those one time, but yeah.
Nah, dude, we're so lucky in Toledo, man, because like people don't realize in Toledo, like there's a lot of restaurants out here. Like I mean, corporate marketing strategies. Since we're a diverse population, they bring up like Taco Bell will have food that only Toledoans have.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
actually, get this. I'm not gonna. I got a story, but I'm not gonna share it right now, at least. But one of my buddies I grew up with, right? He got a job at Taco Bell, you know, and I'm like, dude, you're working at Taco Bell? And he's like, yep, you know, and dude worked his way up like the corporate ladder at Taco Bell and was like just fucking killing it at Taco Bell. And I'm like astonished. I'm like, wow, that's amazing, dude. You worked at Taco Bell and you know, made it to the corporate ladder and everything else. And he was telling me like the Doritos Locos Taco, like that was in Toledo first before any other market, you know?
Yeah, dude. And then here's the thing, Taco Bell is one of my biggest competitors for new hires.
Right.
They're like, what's the benefits? I'm like, you make as much as you make at Taco Bell right now.
A burrito's not gonna threaten me, dude.
Yeah, dude. They're like, I think I'm just gonna go work at like McDonald's, dude. I don't know. This is kind of crazy.
Right. I remember when everything hit, I was seeing ads for McDonald's like $21 an hour, dude. And what was the other good one I seen too? It was Aldi, like 21 or $23 an hour or something. I'm like, dude, people are desperate right now.
Aldi's paying $25 an hour right now.
25, yeah.
25 an hour for assistant managers, and upwards to like 30 for general GMs.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm more like, that's the thing, man. Like money's out there to be made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing too, though. Like the industry that we're in, it's kind of it's a special breed of person.
You gotta
be. You have to be. You definitely have to be.
If you're not in it for the right reasons, it'll weed you out.
Yes, yeah.
And that's like all
100%.
around. Like if you're not like in your recovery, if you're there for a paycheck, like like it's your bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you later, because you're not going to have big enough shoulders to shuffle the responsibilities.
Yeah. It's definitely a passion-driven job.
And, well, that's another thing too. Is like, I'm so lucky that I get to work with people that like have become my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like they become like my support group. Like I can't even in people with regular recovery, right?
Yeah.
I can't sit there and be like, "Yo, bro, so here's a story. Some girl fucking was a pterodactyl and fucking squawked like one and had like a mental breakdown." They'll be like, they won't understand that. But if I tell someone at work like what happened with it,
oh yeah, Tuesday.
That one person, dude, it was nuts. I know, right?
I had it, yeah.
And it's just like such a bro. I literally put our jobs underneath firefighters, EMS, and police.
Yeah,
like we're right there.
Yeah,
like anything can literally happen in a moment's notice at my work.
Yeah, you miss a couple days and you're like, what happened in 3 days,
bro?
What?
Bro, the worst part about the level of care I'm in is like I got like these group of people for 30 days and like I finally like steel sharpens steel and like I'm getting somewhere and they all leave and I'm just like, all right, back to the drawing board.
Back to day one. Yeah, it's like Groundhog's Day.
For sure. The worst is like I caught a guy smoking and I walk in, I was like, you smoking? He's smoking in the bathroom. He kept flushing the toilet. Like blowing the smoke in the toilet, and he's like, nah, I'm going to the bathroom, man, courtesy flush. And I'm like, bro, I can smell it, you smoking,
dude, it's a Marlboro, so I can tell.
So he wouldn't come out, and so I just played it cool, and I acted like I opened the door and like had walked out, and as soon as I like had the door had shut, he had like came out of the stall, and he's like, oh man, and I'm like, bro, I'm a drug addict.
Dude, I did the same thing, dude.
I'm like, you can't get this one over on me, bro. You know? It's funny, man. I love it.
It's funny how making like that is another cool part about it too, though, is that like the messed up stuff that you did becomes an asset. Right? Because you like see people that didn't live that life before, they just get like straight played. They get straight played, you know. But the people like respect you because they're like, yeah, Cam smoked a Newport in the bathroom at one point in his life too.
Well, that's another thing too, man. Is like we're so good at our jobs because we're relatable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we can relate to the people.
Yeah,
and like it's hard for people who don't relate to these people in some aspect of regard because then like you don't understand why they do the things they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they do the things they do. But, like, people who are, like, from the outside in are just like, that doesn't make any sense. And you're like, exactly.
Right.
You know? I don't know, man. I think me and you and other people that we know in our lives are put in this position solely based on a higher purpose. It's like, dude, my best intention was not to work in treatment 4.5 years ago.
No, I'm like, I remember people looked at me crazy. They looked at me crazy when I was trying to start working there. They're like, dude, like, good union job, travel, wind turbines, big money, and you want to do this.
You worked on wind turbines?
Yeah, I built wind turbines and traveled to nuclear turbines.
What the fuck, dude?
Really good money. Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought you were just like some union guy who worked in like electricity or something, or a pipe fitter.
No. I think the tallest wind turbine I worked on was 450 foot in the air.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's fucking scary.
And it was definitely sketchy too. I was making really good money, and I was managing my addiction at the time. I was doing Percocet, and I was doing like 7 or 8 Roxys a day. I'd just be up at these wind turbines, and they'd just be like, when you're in a wind turbine, it's like being on the water. It's like being in the ocean. It like waves back and forth. They're built to flex with the wind. So a lot of people can't work on them because they get like seasick,
What the fuck?
And it's crazy when you're bolting up the sections.
Are you bolted? Are you got like a cable system up there?
You got like a cable system going up the tube, right? And it's really freaky because when you put the tubes together, we use what's called a high torque. To the bolts are, they're massive. They're 10, 12-inch nuts. A nut,
So potentially a foot.
Oh, yeah. Just for like one nut at a connection. And we were taking what's called a high torque. It's 10,000 PSI. And you actually stretch the bolt. So if you just think of a massive 3-foot bolt, dude, that's a couple inches in diameter. When you take this machine and it stretches it thousandths of an inch, and then you tighten these nuts up, and the bolts are built to have stretch in them. So as you put them together, the wind turbine sways, and you're going up the tube on the inside, and you can hear the bolt stretching. You can hear it like mechanically just stretching, and it just echoes in the middle of the tube, dude. It's very eerie.
How heavy is one of those bolts? Like, I mean, like, you guys got them like in like pouches or something, or
you're talking like 40, 50 pounds, like crazy, yeah, big stuff, dude. And
how are you carrying that stuff while you're climbing up on those?
They have there's a method to the madness. They use cranes. The cranes that we were using, like in particular, like the one job I'm talking about, it's out in Payne, Ohio. It's a quarter mile from Indiana. And the crane that they used, it literally takes one day to get it like a quarter mile down the street. The tracks on it were so big that they had to put huge 4-foot by 4-foot railroad ties. And they would use this crane to haul the majority of the stuff up. Dude, it was horrible, dude. It was in in muddy fields, dude. And just, it's quite amazing looking back at it. They'd build one in 7 hours. They call it 7-hour tower. Yeah. But I got a picture somewhere on one of my social medias, dude, being out standing on the top of it, dude. And it was, that was...
was that like an adrenaline? Like
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. We would like...
Can you think about it, bro? You were fucking inebriated on that motherfucker, too.
Oh, dude, horrible, man. And we would open, there's like a hatch under what's called a nacelle. The thing that sits on top of the tower is called a nacelle. And that's where the nose cone is, and you stab the blades into that nose cone, and there's like a little like literally you walk up, that takes you an hour to get from the ground to the top of them things. So you're not like...
You're walking on like ladders.
Yeah, you climb there's a ladder that runs through the center of it, and you get to the top, dude, you're not climbing back down to take a piss or take a shit. You're doing it in the nacelle up top.
Do they got a little bathroom or something?
No little bathroom, dude.
You just like squatting?
You just open the hatch, or they have like a work bucket, and yeah.
You're squatting in a work bucket and tossing out the top of that fucking nacelle?
And the winds are blowing. You feel like you're on the ocean, dude. It's, yeah.
I bet it's super fucking loud, too, being all the way up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I seen lightning hit one once.
Oh, fuck,
dude, it was crazy. They had, because if there's any storms within like a 7-mile radius, you have to have an immediate weather stand down. And we had this weather stand down, and I was like happy about it. I'm like, sweet. We get into the truck. I'm gonna draw a circle of 3 raindrops hit inside this circle. It's a rain day. We're chilling, getting paid for it, just kicking it, and just get down, get into the truck, and then boom, boom, crack. I hear over the radio, Tower 55 just got hit. It wasn't grounded. They didn't ground the tower, and a lightning bolt struck this wind turbine, and I got to see it afterwards, and it hit the very corner of one of the blades, ran through the middle, and ran through the whole wind turbine, dude, and it blew like a 4-foot section out of one of the blades, dude, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. We had to turn the FLL lights on at the top of them when we started working on them, so that like planes could see them and shit,
I bet you guys had a fat life insurance policy for that job too. The minute you got hired.
Oh, you got you got hazard pay for that job. But dude, it was brutal. It was so brutal for me, especially being an active addiction. So Payne, Ohio was like I don't know, about an hour and a half, all the way out to 24 till you about to you're basically to Indiana, and I would drive out there, and it's not like once they get a tower going and they have this crane that's millions of dollars a day to use, do they just be like, oh, all right, after 8 hours, go ahead, shut it down? Like, you're in what's called the top out crew, and if you're there 16 hours, dude, you're there in the wind turbine for 16 hours. And
making minor repairs on it and
working on the turbine, there's like a huge, so like if you think of like a disc brake on your car, there's a huge rotor in the middle of those wind turbines, and it's like just like a big disc brake. And like one person would be like working on stuff, tightening so the wind turbine wouldn't spin, and one person would be operating this brake, this huge rotor, to try to slow that down, because you just think, them blades are, I think, 150 foot long. And like the momentum of one of those turning, could you just imagine? I can't think of the numbers, what the force was. I used to know, but
150 feet blades. What, 4 or 5 blades on that motherfucker?
Yeah.
6 maybe? I don't know.
No, there's 3 blades, but it's one blade's a semi. The length of a full length semi.
Holy shit!
It's crazy. It was one of the trippiest things ever. We get a bunch of them done, and you're just so used to just go, get them knocked out, do what you have to do. Like, you don't really sit back and embrace what you're doing. And I remember one day I come out the bottom of it, and it's an actual beautiful day, and I'm standing at the very bottom of it, and I'm just looking up, and I'm just watching this thing sway in the wind, and I'm just like, what the fuck? This is fucking insane.
Holy shit, man. 150 foot blades, man. I'm sure the momentum on those things are crazy once the wind starts going too.
Yeah, have you ever watched any of the videos of them explode? It's fucking cool.
Explode?
Yeah, like when we get storms and the wind starts spinning super fast and like the brakes fail on them. Oh, dude. Talk about catastrophe.
Okay, here we go. They've never thought this was a thing. Makes bat lungs explode. Oh. This one's really small. Let's see. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's scary. You should have seen when I was doing all my training, I would watch videos like, especially turbines, actual nuclear turbines. Dude, the shell that holds the turbine is a foot thick cast iron piece. And the rod for a turbine, when it fails, is like 3 foot around solid steel, right? And they spin so fast that if it fails, I watched a video once when I was in the training. It was like the rod broke inside, shot out straight through this 1 foot thick cast iron plate, through it like it was an eggshell, out through a factory, bounced off of a 12-inch I-beam, bent it in half, and landed like 300 foot in the parking lot. Like crazy shit.
I was talking to Murph. He's working for Columbia Gas now.
Yeah.
And he was telling me all about it, how dangerous it is, and all the ins and outs. And he was telling me that when you get higher on, they ask you, like, hey, if you get buried, do you want us to dig you out? And he's like, at the first, he found it funny, like, why are they asking me if I want to be buried out if I'm buried alive?
Right.
Of course I want to be buried out. And they're like, well, the machines we use to dig you out could decapitate you or kill you, potentially, as we dig you out of the ground.
Yeah. It's like a catch-22.
Yeah. Like, you could be alive.
We might try to save you, but we might kill you in trying to save you.
In the process. Yeah. No, supposedly there was a guy who he worked with his son, and he was the operator for the team, and his son got buried, and he decapitated his own son while trying to rescue him out of the hole.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And and that's the thing too, man, is like there's some like crazy jobs out there like only guys will take. Like only men Only men will be like, yeah, I'm gonna get into a fucking hole with live breathing natural gas.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna hope that it doesn't catch on fire. Like, he was showing me his gear yesterday, man, and it was like completely like flame retardant. So like, he was telling me that like this sweatshirt that he had, this like not like hoodie, could be like completely torched on fire and it wouldn't affect him or touch him.
Were you like, dude, let's try it?
I was like, wait, he was telling me about
Hold
it.
on, I have
like,
a torch.
He was telling me like in fire school, like they'd like put the clothing that he had like on a dummy and like let it on fire and nothing happened to the dummy. And I'm like, so why didn't they use a person? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Like you see like the test for like bulletproof vests.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, I've seen a couple of them where there was like real people doing that. And I'm like, okay, I have credit for taking a bullet first and foremost.
yeah.
But like, I don't know if I don't trust it if you don't.
Yeah.
You don't
for sure.
try it right on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. If you believe it.
The mannequin's not sweating, you know?
Yeah, my her dad's a union garbage man. He tells me about how dangerous it is. You know, guys getting caught in the back blades.
Oh yeah,
Because like when the compressors just come down to compact it, like you got to go back there to clean out that blade.
Yeah.
And some guys will, leave the engine running with it on, and then a mistake happens and it shuts off and just smashes you.
Yep, I worked on I used to be specialized in that and hydraulics and all the actuators for those and stuff. Actually, one of the coolest jobs I ever did was out at Campbell's Soup. They would, a semi full of like vegetables would come in and drive on this thing, and it literally was like the whole semi itself would lift up and it would raise it back to dump all the vegetables out of the back of it, dude. And it was, bro, after that job I would not eat Campbell's.
Why?
Dude, it was just, I had to work there. So like they have these like wastewater tanks, and like the job I did was like really was like one of the most universal jobs. You worked on wind turbines, you worked at Jeep and automation, you worked at a lot of food factories and stuff like that, man. And so some jobs would be like super nice, working at Jeep, putting in robots, other jobs would be like at the wastewater plant, like where all the the running water and sewage flow through these pumps, dude, and you have to fix these pumps, and they're just like so nasty.
So why wouldn't you eat Campbell's?
I don't know. I think just smelling the raw sewage.
Sewage
from the factory, like the wastewater treatment. So like all the the bad vegetables or something that get thrown off into this other section, in all the water that goes through the machines to clean the machines goes out to this wastewater factory in the back.
Oh no.
So like, it's not so much that it's like it was the Campbell's itself, the food,
Yeah.
I mean, I would still hit the Campbell's, the store, and get like the V8 drinks and stuff like that when I was working out there. I get discounts and all that stuff, so that was kind of cool. But it's just like, you ever had a vegetable that went bad? Just one? Could you imagine?
Do you know
50 tons?
Do you know the FDA regulates rats and bird parts in Campbell's soups and different soup companies? So like per shipment or whatever, you're allowed to have like 8 parts of rat parts inside of like a Campbell's soup can.
Like this much is okay.
Yeah. They allow it.
Yeah.
So like those big machines you were working on, like rats get stuck in there and get chopped up or whatever the fuck, and just package it right into the soup.
It's a wrap, dude. It's a wrap.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, thanks for coming by tonight. Before we end the podcast, I want to tell you, man, I so appreciate you coming on, man. It was such an honor to have you, bro, and to talk with you and to chop it up with you. I learned something new, dude. I learn something new every day on this podcast. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. You got any social medias you want to shout out? Yeah,
you can. My IG. What is my IG? I don't know my tag. J.Dizzle. My Facebook, Justin JD Crank.
Yeah, man. follow him, man. Justin's a good guy. JD's a good guy. He works in recovery. Thanks for coming on the podcast. You can follow us on the Agro Labs Cast on Instagram. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, on Apple Music. You can find us on all streaming platforms, on YouTube, also on Twitter. And guys, support the podcast, man. Buy a shirt, buy a hat. You're a hat guy. You can find our products on Redbubble at Agro Labs Fam on Redbubble. Big shout out to JD. Thanks for coming by on the podcast, man. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to post it. This is gonna be great. Thanks for smoking the sticks, man. Yeah. Thanks for setting the tone and the vibe right.
Yeah.
And stay aggro. We're out.
That's it. Later. Deuces.